Hi everyone, in this video I'd like to summarize the highest probability weekly and a 4-hour time frame Elliott Wave scenario. And before I start, I'd like to let you know that in the upcoming 4 days I won't have the ability to make content as I will be in the Netherlands for the Grand Prix in Zandvoort. I will leave tomorrow morning, be back Monday night, so on Tuesday I will continue making content. The highest probability weekly time frame scenario is a 5-wave impulsive structure to the upside where we still take all-time high. Common target for your wave 4 is the yellow box 57,142.8k, invalidation 37.7, and the target for your wave 5 81.3k to 129k. On the 4-hour time frame, the probabilities remain higher for price to sooner or later take out this high at 62.7k. If the bears were in control, then after this high we wanted to see an impulsive move towards the downside, either a 5-wave impulsive structure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we never got a wave 4 nor a wave 5. We got a 3-wave structure to the downside, and overlap between a wave 1 and a wave 4 is not allowed, and there is lots of overlap going on here. So an impulse does not work, leaving us with a diagonal or a multi 1-2. Now in a multi 1-2, you're then looking for a 1-2-1-2 impulsive structure down. We didn't get it. We also got this whole move up, and this high took the high on the left. So a multi 1-2 doesn't work as well. That leaves us with a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this then is an expanding diagonal, and an expanding diagonal is very rare, never preferred, unless all of the other scenarios fill, which means of course the bullish scenario. So the highest probability bearish scenario at the moment would be a bigger WXY structure, a 3-wave zigzag structure in a wave W, a complex sideways wave X, and then we look for another move to the upside in a wave Y. But if we then take a trend-based fib extension from the low at 49k to the high here at 62.7 to the current low that we have, then you can see that the minimum target for wave Y at the moment is still above the 62.7k top, and therefore even actually in a WXY the probabilities at the moment are higher for price to still take out this high. And then it is a question about bullish or bearish depending on the range that you then get up there, right? The resistance between 64.7 to 68k is going to play an important role, because depending on the range you then form up here, if price can get there, we can get a very good estimation for the probabilities to move up or to move towards the downside. Now mind you that in a WXY your wave X might not yet be finished. We have a complex range over here. It does not make any sense to count this in a lot of detail, but your arguably quote-unquote bearish scenario is that you still look for another move towards the downside if you can see solid signs of weakness locally, and then after a move to the downside to finish a wave X, you then look for price to move towards the upside in a wave Y to still take out the high at 62.7k. The most bearish scenario arguably would be a WX and then some sort of a triangle structure in a wave Y going sideways for absolutely forever, and then we look for a move to the downside. But before the probabilities increase for price to move to the downside and take 49k, right? We're not talking about a bit of a move and then eventually continuation up, but actually significant moves to the downside to 49k. We really want to see a market structure change to the downside with continuous bearish CVD divergences as well to show us that there is absorption of market long orders with bigger limit short orders. But at the moment, that is not yet the case. We haven't yet changed the market structure, but that arguably is your most bearish scenario, WX forever sideways in a wave Y, and then at a later stage we can analyze the chart. Now it's also important to know that the weekend is coming up, right? We have 1 day left, Friday, then it is weekend. And most commonly, during the weekend, the market goes sideways. So hopefully, by the time the weekend hits, we're out of this range tomorrow, but if not, then yeah, we're going to be stuck probably inside the boundaries of this range for a little bit longer, right? So more sideways price action, yes. So if we then look at the CVD divergences, the only bullish CVD that is left is this one over here. All of the other bullish CVDs locally have already played out. You can see the market structure locally, higher highs and higher lows as well. The target for this bullish CVD is price taking out the high. Now more locally here, we did see some bearish CVD divergences on the chart, also bullish, but also bearish CVD divergences on the chart. Lower high on price, higher high CVD, and also here as price is moving down, a bit of bearish CVD divergences. And mind you that on the 15-minute time frame, you did touch the 886 here, taken from this low to the high. Let me actually show this on a 50-minute time frame. So if you pull a fib from the low to the high, price did touch the 886, which does increase the probabilities for price to still take out the local low here. But I prefer talking, of course, about the zoomed out higher time frame stuff. And on the 4-hour time frame, the probabilities remain higher to at some point take out that high. Even if you do get a bit of a move towards the downside, that doesn't matter. Now, if we then look at the news, then we do have some high impact news on Friday, the 23rd of August, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central European time. So make sure you trade safe around that hour. And if we then talk about the probabilities, then, well, on the weekly time frame, we spoke about the highest probability scenario. At the moment, the highest probability scenario remains the impulse scenario, looking for 4 and another wave 5. Before a bearish scenario on a weekly time frame gets higher probabilities, you really need significant weakness and bigger impulsive structures towards the downside, preferably even taking 38.5k. And as mentioned, on the 4-hour time frame, the probabilities with the information that we have at the moment remain higher for price to sooner or later take out that high. Arguably, your most bearish scenario would be a W, an unfinished X, and then either a wave Y to the upside, so you get another low, or a continuation of the range. But if we do get a continuation of the range and then move down, it's going to be very easy for us because we will be able to spot this and also spot the weakness to then change probabilities for price to move down. But at the moment, with the current information we have on the chart, there is no reason to think about probabilities higher to take 49k first before taking 63k first. All right, so that is with the current info. On a 15-minute time frame, the probabilities are at the moment higher that this structure to the downside is corrective and not impulsive. If we want to count this as an impulse, it will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's overlap between the wave 1 and the wave 4, which invalidates an impulse. Alternatively, you then have to look for a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it is too early to talk diagonals. Generally, you want to wait for a wave 4 to be in. And then you have a multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, looking for a 3 down, but your second 1 and 2 are massive compared to your first, even though the second 1 and 2 are actually a lower degree Elliott Wave count. So that also doesn't work, increasing the probabilities. This move down is corrective, which in turn does increase the probabilities for price on the 50-minute time frame to take out this high. Please keep in mind that in the upcoming days, I won't be able to make any content because I will be abroad for the Formula 1 Grand Prix, but I will be active in the YouTube comment section if you ask any questions, as well as in Discord and Telegram. And for the silver members, I do have my laptop with me and also my phone, so I will be able to keep an eye on the chart and sometimes provide you with an update, but it is a lot more difficult for me to bring my whole setup with my microphone and everything to record videos, and also recording videos does take a lot more time than doing updates by text. So that being said, I hope that this video was helpful or valuable to you. Please check out the brand new complete Elliott Waves guide playlist I've made that shows you all you need to know about Elliott Waves. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and I'd like to see you at the next one. Bye bye.